Well, hi everybody. We are back with our newest podcast. Welcome, Osmarie. It's nice to see you again.
Good day, everyone. It's nice to see you too again, and happy to record another podcast.
Yeah. So today,
So, what's our topic for today?
today we're talking energy, personal energy, which comprises auras and energy centers. And I
I
know
love
you
the topic.
yourself, energy centers is your thing, right? This is what you specialize
Exactly.
in.
That's why I said I love the topic
Yeah.
because I work with energy centers, or as we normally say it, chakra. And some people may think it's a woo woo, but honestly, chakra or energy center have impact, significant impact in our lives, success, overall well being in general.
Yeah.
So maybe we can start with basic definition. So our listeners, watchers, seekers
Yeah.
can have an understanding what energy center, chakra, and aura is all about.
Hmm. Yeah.
I go first because always ladies first.
Ladies first, yeah, and then I'll chip in and we talk about the mechanics and the use of the
Yeah,
aura in a bit. So you go ahead and discuss energy centers and what they do, how they work, as you say, about
yeah,
how they function in your life, how they affect your life, how you affect your life, because it's you, right? It's part of you. So yeah,
exactly. So chakra or energy centers, they serve as a non-physical highway of cosmic energy or life prana. In general, there are 114 energy centers, but the main ones are seven. So the base energy center, or it's called root chakra, the sacral energy center, you have your solar plexus, you have the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. So each of these energy centers functions in different ways and affects different areas of our lives. Just to go back, because I went so fast, I said energy centers are non-physical highway of cosmic energy or life prana. So if you ask me what is cosmic energy exists everywhere. It's the same energy that regulates the orbits of the planets. It's the same energy that converts atoms into molecules. In general, in layman's term, it's actually the energy to all the great things in life that we as humans have access to. And we can access that through our energy centers. So that's the definition of energy centers
okay. So
in
yeah,
general.
great. That's a good explanation. Also, if I was somebody that was asking questions, I'll pretend I'm somebody that doesn't know, and so I will ask you a question about so the energy centers, because they're positioned in different places in the body, in the energetic body, but they do relate to the physical location of the
Exactly.
body, don't they? So maybe can you explain where about which part of the body that each
So
influences?
the base energy center is located at the tailbone, and in general, the color of that is red. The element of base energy center or root chakra is earth, and it's basically for it focuses on survival instinct. And when that's activated and balanced, you basically are meeting your basic needs. It's safety, security. 'Cause as I have mentioned, it's
Yeah.
for survival and instinct. Now, if that is unbalanced or blocked, that's when it's hard to meet the basic needs. There you are probably experiencing issues at work, family relationships. And if that's overactivated, because from the word root, base,
Yeah.
that's when you're struggling to be flexible, to transition, to adapt to changes.
Yeah.
So that's the base energy center.
Would it be fair to say as well that, and I'm talking from personal experience now, a long, long time ago, feeling like you don't belong in this world,
Yes.
not being able to actually connect with the earth and feeling like you're alien, like you're different, like you don't belong,
Act-
feel weird,
Actually, it's more of feeling like, yeah, more or less like that.
disconnected, right?
Yeah, feeling disconnected.
Yeah. So that, and people don't realize that. I mean, I see people that talk about, oh, I don't feel like I belong in this world. And as I said, I experienced that when I was younger as well. I didn't realize that I had this imbalance. And as you mentioned, because of traumas, family traumas, this actually happened, right? And then I didn't feel like I
Yeah.
was belonging because of that imbalance.
And actually, if I may add, based on what I saw with my clients, the base energy center, the blocks, some of the blocks that's caused by the energy center may come from ancestors, like depression, anxiety. We inherit depression and anxiety from our ancestors. Some people may not know that, but we do. It depends with how many generations. Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not obvious. And also, people might say this. What I've also seen is it can also be blocked by past life experiences.
Yeah. So those, as you said, those can be carried over from life to life potentially. Those
Yeah.
traits, those aspects,
And
right?
it would answer what you just said, the sense of the feeling that you don't belong.
Yeah.
That may come from a past life.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people will resonate with that. Certainly what I've seen, even with my personal clients, I've seen that people that actually realize that once they do eventually balance and connect correctly with the earth through the base energy center, suddenly
Yeah.
they feel like they belong, and suddenly they realize, oh, so I'm actually okay, right? And that helps them to begin to balance the other energy centers, because as you know, one will actually have a knock-on effect onto the other, right? If one is unbalanced for whatever reason.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what people don't realize sometimes, I have clients wherein they were just born with depression and they don't know why. And obviously, because of that, their base energy center, root chakra, is blocked.
Yeah,
But then it's coming from generations of ancestors.
yeah. So if we move up from the base energy center to the sacral, which is
So
the location I believe is between the pubic bone and the navel, isn't it? Around that area.
yeah, it is
And it's related to creativity, the sexual organs, which is the physical
creativity,
organs.
sexuality.
Yeah. I also found actually,
It's basically a new relationship, new ideas.
yeah, the creativity
It's
side of it.
the element of it is emotion.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I get that. And of course, one will definitely affect the other. Um, so if we go then from the sacral up to the solar plexus, which is located
This
at the V of the
um
sternum.
below the rib cage.
just below the sternum, right? In that V of the
Yeah.
sternum. Yeah.
So it's the element of that is energy. It focuses on self-worth, personal identity, power, vitality.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but the organ that it relates to, is it the pancreas, I think, is the physical organ that it's related to?
It's the upper, it's the organs in the upper stomach. So you have the small intestines, the liver. All right. I was not listening during my biology class. Don't ask me
I
all
stand,
the upper stomach organs.
I think it's the pancreas. If I might be wrong, but I think it's the organ it relates to is the pancreas. I
And it
believe.
actually relates to all the upper body because
Right.
the root, the base is the legs, the feet, blood. 'Cause that's our survival,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the hips. And then the sacral chakra is your lower stomach organs, large intestines. And then the solar plexus is the upper part of your stomach,
Right.
small intestines and anything in the small intestines organs, liver. Yeah, the pancreas. And then we move to the heart. That's the love, healing, forgiveness, compassion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's the organ here in the chest area, the heart,
And
chest
also
area, lungs.
and also into the arms, isn't it, as well? Because
Exactly.
that's how we show physical compassion, physical love. We use our arms to
True. To
physically
hug.
to hug,
Yeah,
yeah. And we just you using that. So even though the organ is the heart, the arms are what shows. We demonstrate physically what the heart wants to demonstrate using the arms. So yeah,
exactly. And then the throat, which is our energy center for expressing our truth,
yeah,
communication, leadership, honesty. And it's also these organs here
I
in the
know that
mouth.
one. It's predominantly the thyroid gland.
That exactly
Yeah,
thyroid. So if you have issues with thyroid, your throat chakra is blocked. And also, if you have addiction issues, your throat chakra or throat energy center is also blocked.
okay. And I guess also that also will relate to the adrenal glands as well, won't it? I think that center, which is
Which one?
the adrenal glands. I think is also here, the
Mm-hmm.
glands, and also into the upper body area. So yeah, and I believe the color of that is blue, isn't it? The throat energy center.
Yeah, it's blue. And then we move up to our third eye, which is our intuition. And the color of that is indigo.
Indigo.
I
Yeah.
normally used purple because not indigo and purple is close.
Yeah.
And it's not easy for people to resonate with indigo. What is indigo?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
and it's
looks almost like a more purple than blue, isn't it? It's like in between that sort of mixed color.
exactly.
And I think I know it
And
relates to the
this
pineal gland, isn't it? I think the third eye.
I think it's yeah, it's here. I
Yeah.
don't know where the pineal gland is, like somewhere. Like it's
It's at
hard
the
to
center of the
demo.
brain, just by the ear. It's at the center of the brain, very close to the
Exactly.
pituitary. They're very close together, which is our next stop, the next energy center, isn't it?
Actually, the third eye is such an important energy center because when it's blocked, that's when it's hard to be open minded, to be in touch with our feelings, when we are scared of succeeding, when we are overly attached to material things, and when we tend to repeat the same mistakes over and over. So people probably would be able to relate when you're having issues to open your mind to understand other people without any judgment. When it's hard to be in touch with your feelings, you don't know which one is real, which one is created.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, for me, it's always been like the intuitive center, isn't it? So your perception.
Yeah, because it is the intuition.
Yeah. And they work, and I think we've spoken about this before, where it's the psychic center which works in conjunction with the throat energy center. They work together as our psychic connection
It
centers.
is.
Yeah.
Actually, the throat chakra is the connector of the third eye and the heart. What you think and what you feel comes out here.
Express. Yeah.
Exactly, through your expression, your truth. And if I may add, because I already said that, the three lower energy centers, your base, your sacral, and solar, are your energy centers related to material world, earthly needs.
Yeah.
The three upper ones, the throat, the third eye, and the crown, are the ones related to spiritual world. And the heart is the connector of the earthly needs and spiritual world. That's the reason why they always say, follow your heart, I
Yeah.
guess.
Also, I think in a lot of circles, it's also commonly known as the seat of the soul, isn't it? It's like the connection of the soul. But yeah.
Yeah. And the
Also,
last one,
the
go ahead.
crown. Last one, the crown, right?
I was about to say that. Crown, which is our connector to our higher self and to the divine.
Yeah. And relates to
So those are the 7 energy centers.
yeah. So there's something that my master teacher added to that system, which is something I think people will be able to relate to this, is that the center of awareness, right? The center of awareness is in the shape of a, so in other words, how we perceive our environment, how we perceive ourselves. So if I say to you, I feel present here, where is that? Yeah, it's a combination of all our functions, and that's located is in the shape of a triangle, which I demonstrate with my hands, and it sits like this here. So this triangle is the center of perception, the center of awareness. This is how we feel we are interacting with the world. It's a combination of hearing, speaking, seeing, all the senses is the center, is this triangle around here, which includes the third eye. So it's that triangle center. And when I heard that, I thought, wow, that makes perfect sense, right? Because I remember when I first started practicing meditation, I found that my awareness in the early days, my awareness would move, but not far away. It would move and it would feel like I was perceiving where I was from just behind my head. So it moved slightly away. So I felt like I was standing behind myself. When now, with much more experience, I can move my awareness to further distances away from the center of awareness. That it can move that whole center of awareness and move that. So in the beginning, it felt like I was just behind myself. And in the beginning, that felt really, really weird, but eventually you get
then
used to it, right?
I'm at the beginning stage then, because every time I do my meditation, my awareness is here. That energy is just so strong.
Yeah.
That sometimes I feel like it's just gonna explode with too much energy concentrated in it.
But the thing is with energy, when you start to develop your light body, it feels like a magnetic force, magnetic energy. And as you say, it can get that strong that it actually locks your awareness in that place where the energy is the strongest. And it can be quite difficult to break your awareness away from that because it's that strong. And yeah, I speak from experience. So I can see why you would say that, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've discussed briefly the energy centers, and then the big the big the big guy, the big energy center, the aura, right?
Yeah.
The one that brings everything together. So we use that, and when I talk to my clients about energy and things, I use the aura as an example, as a sensory organ, as a sense
Mm-hmm.
energy field that we can. And I use the example of if I walk around town where my energy, my aura, and for most people, it's about 2 meters diameter, like a bubble. So it's roughly just a bit
Two
longer.
meters,
If
because
you
if you do like this,
just
one like this is 1 meter. So it's basically two hands in general.
Yeah, yeah. So and then it's in front, behind, below. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
so the body, your physical body is actually inside the aura, and the aura is actually you because you are the energy. And when you walk around town, everybody has this auric field, right? When you walk close to somebody, that energy field is going to pass through somebody else's. And that's why sometimes you will feel somebody's emotions when somebody is sad, or maybe you might pick up on somebody's thoughts, especially if you've been around that person, or if you in an intimate relationship with somebody, you get to know the energy field more and more, and you get to understand. And something you will say, oh, and then you say something, and then the other person will say, I was just thinking that. So you get that you're automatically reading each other's energies, but you don't actually actively realize it. So it's interesting, right? I remember one day I pulled up at some traffic lights in the car, and I was having music on, and I was happy, all nice, cool. And suddenly I started to feel anxious or irritated, and I said, "Why? Where does this come from?" And then I looked on the corner on the pavement. There was somebody was standing there, waiting to cross, very close to the car. And I didn't think much of it. And as I drove away, then it disappeared. I was like, aha, my friend that was standing at the light, like I was actually picking up how that person was feeling. And I misunderstood. I thought it felt like me, right? And for people that are empathic, they feel so sensitive that they can feel other people's energies, other people's emotions. That can be very confusing. I don't know. When I was younger, for me, that was a confusion. So getting to know your personal energy is definitely a plus, finding out who you are energetically. So brief summary of
Yeah.
yours. Do you want to add something about that?
Sometimes it's not obvious.
Yeah.
Uh, I guess it's not obvious because you have to quiet the mind to be able to feel your energy. If I can give a simple practice to anybody,
Yeah.
if you close your eyes, I do this sometimes just for me to be grounded. I try to feel the blood, my heart pumping blood to my body, my pulse. That's the base of how you can feel your energy. That's your blood pumping blood. That's your heart pumping blood. Try it. It's the first. It's the basic level how you feel your energy.
Yeah.
And blood is your base energy center.
Yeah. And as you say, and that's also a very good way of using that as a focal point to bring yourself into the moment, isn't it?
It is if like for those who are starting to explore meditation, and when it's so hard to focus, try to observe your heartbeat and then move your awareness to the blood that's being pumped in your heart. That could be a good focal point.
Yeah. No, that's a very good example. And yeah, I sometimes when I'm aware, or I become aware of, I'll be walking around in town I like to do this exercise, walking around town and just to go and feel what it feels like to bump into people's energy and to see, can I find something, or can I discover something new or something different? And sometimes it's a nice surprise, right? And I will find something and sometimes not. But there's one when I teach about allowance and about surrender, I
Yeah.
actually give an exercise about, and we talk about the energy centers. I see them as input output devices where we can project energy or we can sense energy and then perceive that and then interact with our environment. So if we start to project our energy, we can start to feel that. And the exercise that I teach people is, what does it feel like when you're projecting? And what does it feel like when you're not projecting? That exercise, right?
Energy.
Yes. And when you can start to feel that exercise and understand that, this is when we can start to say, so am I judging? Because if you're judging, you are projecting. If I stop projecting, I automatically stop judgment. Then I allow everybody their own free will. I am no longer encroaching my free will, my judgment on others. So that's a very, very good exercise to get to feel, am I producing, am I projecting energy, or am I simply becoming just the observer and just looking at people and just admiring the scene, right? So that's a very good exercise. I often do that. It's a wonderful thing to do and to see that, so am I being judgmental or I'm just being the observer? It's a great exercise to do.
I like it's that's actually a good example. So I remember I used to do this exercise, not in the town, like when I surf. I do something like a Wi-Fi check, but it's not about aura. It's more of um energy center colors, chakra colors,
Right,
because every individual has a dominant chakra color.
right.
And of course, I can just read all the colors. That's violation of privacy. I cannot just do that. So what I do is I close my eyes while surfing and while waiting for the wave to come. Close my eyes, or I just do this, and then I try like, let's see the colors in the water right now.
That's good because you're practicing sensing your environment, right? You're in it because as you mentioned earlier, everything around us is energy. Even though we see it as physical matter, it's made up of energy. So practicing to sense it brings you into the moment, and also you
Yeah,
can expand your expertise on feeling around you as opposed to just yourself, right?
yeah. At the end of the day, everything is energy. And if you don't believe it, put your two hands together like this. 1 centimeter. Is that 1 meter? One inch.
Yeah, approximately. I think.
Probably at first you don't feel anything. At some point you would feel the vibration. That's when you know it's energy.
Yeah, absolutely. It can feel a bit like when you hold two magnets, right? That force field
Yeah.
between those two magnets. Especially if you turn them around so they repel each other's, you can, as you say, you can feel that between. I mean, even now when I'm talking about it, it's already started. I can feel it. Just, just, just because we're
Yeah. Like
talking about it,
I
right?
feel it.
Yeah, it's like an automated thing. It's like boom, you become aware of it.
It's true. And the more you become aware of your energy, the more you can improve your energy as well. I mean, you don't even have to believe in so many things. It's basic. If you don't have energy, you cannot function.
Yeah,
You go to work, you receive positive, negative energy in any environment
yeah,
or neutral. It's
and
like
yes,
somebody's so mad, that's a negative energy.
yeah, and
It
here's
goes to
something.
you as well if you don't know how to protect yourself from these types of energy. When
Yeah,
somebody's happy, you become happy as well, even if there's no reason, you just saw somebody happy.
Well, it's very evident with the laughing, isn't it? Some people's laughter just makes you laugh just because that energy does it to you, right? Automatic.
Exactly.
But there's something people might not be aware of is that emotion, if you break it up, so E
Energy in motion.
motion, energy in motion, as you say, right? And it's energy flowing in and out of the energy center, right? So energy in motion. So when we start to think like that, we change our perspective automatically. We change our awareness, right?
Exactly.
And it becomes, instead of being a periodic thing, it becomes a habit, which then becomes a routine, which then becomes you, and you change yourself. And then you've changed your awareness, you've changed your experience, and lots of things around you change. So yeah, it's a wonderful subject, energy centers, auras, because of course it's what I think who we are, right? And when we leave this world, this is it. This is what we take back with us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
While we're talking, actually, I'm seeing indigo purple color from you.
Okay. Is
I
that
don't know
because
if it's true.
is that because we are being intuitive about and
I
discussing?
don't know. I'm seeing indigo purple from you. But I told you before that's your dominant color.
Oh, right. Okay. Actually, now you're talking about it, my whole head is going. Can you feel it's going
It's
crazy
true.
now. But
I
you know,
had moments wherein I'm seeing like purple indigo colors.
this
And
morning,
I was like thinking he's activating his intuition with what he's saying.
but you know what? This
It's
morning, because
true.
I
Is it
like
true?
I like to do meditation in the morning. When I don't just jump out of bed, and I like to have a 45 minutes, half an hour, just to tune in and just feel. It's like a light meditation. And this morning, the energy was off the chart in my head. I thought my higher self is going to jump into my body through my crown. It was just crazy, crazy energy today. Um, so yeah, maybe that's part of it. I don't know. Um, I'm jealous.
Maybe.
I'm jealous of your ability to see colors because that's one thing that's always eluded me up till now. It could change, right? I'm sure it
Be
would.
careful what you wish for.
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
But now, like, I became good in controlling it.
yeah.
I can switch on, switch off now. Because if just imagine if you don't know how to switch it off, even the senses,
Yeah.
my God, you're gonna
Overload,
go crazy.
overload, right? Yeah.
Because sometimes, like, you don't want to know what other people are thinking. You don't really care because you don't know them. You don't really want to know what's going on in their lives. But then you walk, and then there's an antenna, and then you see it.
It becomes noise. It's like having all the TV channels switched on at the same time, right?
Yeah. And if there's one thing I'm so grateful, I was able to finally control it because otherwise it's gonna be too much.
Yeah, absolutely. Can be overwhelming, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I remember when I did my retreat, I met one of the girls who attended my retreat. She's such a lovely person, character wise. But when the first time I met her, I just felt a strong, heavy energy that doesn't feel so good. And I did her chakra reading. Actually, all her energy centers are black.
Wow.
And that's why she has this heavy negative energy.
Wow. Is that
And
unusual? I've
she's
never heard.
carrying an ancestral she is carrying an ancestral block.
Wow. I've never heard of that
And
before.
she knows she's black because she feels heavy.
Wow. That's amazing. I've never heard of somebody's energy centers, all of them being like that before. Usually it's like one or two or three, but all of them together, that's just, wow, that's amazing.
I have I have three, four clients whose energy centers, all the energy centers are blocked. So they are basically living in the dark,
Yeah.
taking different medicines to sleep, the depression. antidepressant, anxiety, or medicine. At some point, it's too much because it's a contradictory of different things. Because
Yeah.
you need one stimulant for one energy center, one stimulant, which is so bad.
Yeah. That's quite sad, isn't it, when that happens?
Yeah, which just shows as well the like how energy center plays a role, vital role
Yeah.
in our life.
Yeah. And I don't know if you knew this, is that people that are abusive with drugs, they're very, very steeped and they use it a lot and you can see them, their energy is very low. Those people's energy, those auras sometimes are cracked and they're actually leaking energy, and this is why the energy is so low. Those people are so susceptible to people drawing energy from them. And you can see them walking around town, they just look off color. They're completely drawn out of energy, and their aura is actually hemorrhaging energy. So no matter how much they try to put in, they're just leaking energy everywhere. And that's quite something to see as well.
Yeah, and just to add to what you're saying, like alcohol and cigarette substance actually lowers down your frequency.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It reduces your frequency. Well, it's a grounding effect, isn't it, really, actually?
Yeah,
So grounding is healthy, but obviously done in the correct manner.
indeed. And maybe we can discuss in our next podcast how you actually um, activate balance, because now we're talking about it, your energy centers, and how do you amplify your aura.
Yes.
Because if we discuss that now, I think we're gonna run too long.
We're going to run too long anyway. We're approaching our usual 45-minute
Yeah,
time frame. So I think it's a good place to stop and then continue
yeah.
as the next episode,
Before
right?
we, I just want to do a recap for just to
Go,
be clear what
go
we
ahead.
discussed.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So the energy centers, it's our access, the non-physical highway of cosmic energy. And we have 7 main energy centers. You have the base, which is the root chakra, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. So the base energy center, the element of that is earth, and it focuses on survival and instinct. The sacral, the color of that, it's placed between navel and the tailbone, or if it's too hard to remember, the navel. The color of that is orange, and the element of that is water. It is for creativity and sexuality and passion. The solar plexus is just below your rib cage, above your navel. It's solar plexus chakra. It's yellow. The element of that is fire. It's for your self-worth, personal identity, power, vitality. And then you have your heart, which is love, healing, forgiveness. The color of it is green. And then you have your throat. Oh, by the way, the element of heart is air. And then you have your throat, which is blue. The element of that is sound. And it focuses on your truth, self-expression.
Hmm.
And then the third eye is the element of that is it's your intuition. The
Mhm.
element of that is light. It's indigo. The color is indigo. Now, if you don't know indigo, just think of purple. It's the same. It's not the
Right.
same, but it's there just for easy recall.
Yeah.
And then the last one is the crown. That's your connection to your higher self. The color of white, the color of that is white. So those are the 7 chakras. Maybe in the next podcast, we're going to discuss more in depth how to actually activate balance and how it feeds the aura.
And also we can talk more about the aura, about the different layers, what functions that has as
Exactly.
well. So yeah, so that was great. A lot of good insight today. Thank you for your expertise, Rosemarie. It's nice to hear what you do.
I'm more than happy to be here. Now, if you want a chakra reading, my website will be put in the description link below.
Yeah.
Just to understand your colors, which one is blocked, unblocked, activated, balance, if you're curious about that, because it would make sense once you understand which one of your chakras are blocked and blocked.
Yeah, it
You
does
would
help.
know it.
It helps to have that insight, doesn't it? It helps you to know
Exactly.
what to work on. So yeah, it's very handy. So yeah, as Osmarie says, if you're keen on discovering more about your energy system, then get in touch, right? We are here to help. We're here to help you to gain insight and improve your awareness. So yeah, that's our mission. So thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much, people, for watching. Please subscribe, support the channel. Let's get the message out there, and we will see you at the next episode.
Yes, until next time. Have a great day, everyone.
All right, cheerio.
Bye.